In about 30 minutes from where I'm recording this video right now, Super Bowl 52 will be exactly 3 years old as far as when it started. And look at where we've fallen from there, you know? I can't believe it. It's 3 years ago today, the Philadelphia Eagles were taking on the New England Patriots in the biggest game of all. And despite 503 total yards by a pass by Tom Brady, the Eagles managed to outduel and beat the New England Patriots 41-33, winning their very first Super Bowl trophy. And 3 years later, we're where we're at right now, where that team, that coach, that staff, is basically just gone. Almost every single part of it. You still got some parts on the defense like Brandon Graham, Jalen Mills, Rodney McLeod, Fletcher Cox, Vinny Curry. I mean, you still got a couple of those guys, but you don't have your head coach. You don't have your quarterback. You don't have Nick Foles. You don't have Carson Wentz cheering them on from the bench in the prime of his career, essentially. Like, we know that he's still in his prime right now, but like in the right state of mind, not wanting to get out of Philadelphia, not having all these issues. And now 3 years later, here he is, here we are. We fired Doug Peterson, and we're open to trading Carson Wentz, despite being financially invested to him. We're listening to the phone calls. We're not hanging up. We're despite what they're saying, and this is exactly how these trades go down, and it's gonna happen. And if it doesn't happen, I will be surprised, and we'll see what goes on towards the 2021 regular season. But as of right now, it's looking like he's going to be traded at some point, whether it's this week, whether it's next month when the offseason officially begins, where we can finally see some transactions happening, or if it's down the road towards training camp right before preseason. You never know. You never know how long these things can go on for. You never know when it's going to happen. I have a firm belief that it will. I want it to happen because both these two parties, Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles as a whole, we all need a breather from this, If we want to get back to where we were 3 years ago, Super Bowl 52, if we want to make it back to that moment to at least have a chance at winning it again, we need a fresh start with where we're at now. Like, again, we've lost Doug Peterson, we've lost Jim Schwartz, we lost Frank Reich, we lost the entire coaching staff that was there, nearly the entire offense outside of a few key players like Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson, the whole offensive line essentially, Carson Wentz, Alshon Jeffrey. I mean, we've lost so many pieces, but we had to build up from there. We had to rebuild. This is a rebuild, which means Carson Wentz can't be a part of it in my eyes. That's just how I feel. But it's just crazy watching the game again, going back and looking at all the moments that happened, just everything that happened in that season. Like, despite all that's going on now, I'm still grateful and humble to know that season happened. That we did that. That's still, no matter what, you can't take that from us despite what's happened afterwards. And hopefully we can get back there soon. Hopefully this new coaching staff, everything can find itself again. Hopefully we can have something as special as that be reimagined in an even better way, where maybe we can continue to stay as consistent with that, I don't know. I'm just doing some reflections back to, 2017 to now, 2018 to now. I mean, we're just in different places. As a fan base, as an organization, the Eagles, as a team, the players and the coaches and everything, it's crazy to see how quickly things can change in 3 years. And right now it doesn't feel like it's going to get any better, but we can only just sit back and wait, especially as a fan. You can only sit back and just watch and observe and react and hope things will get better. But 3 years, man. I made a podcast yesterday. I reacted to my short video, not the 16-minute one. That was very long. It was a very long reaction because, again, That video I started taking that video 2 minutes right before the 2 minute warning, and it went on for 16 minutes before we were officially winners. And then right after that, the 1 minute video. That's the one I reacted to on the podcast. And wow, I was wearing Carson Wentz. I was wearing the beanie. I was basically crying about how Nick Foles finished what Wentz started, and that this was all for him because of what happened to with his injury and everything. And just crazy looking back at that, seeing how much everything has changed, how different things are, how different I feel towards Wentz despite that miracle of a season. The regular season, like, that was him. That was all him. The postseason wasn't. And the postseason hasn't ever been him because it's always been Foles. Yeah. I miss it. I miss those days. I really do. But all right, enough reflection. Carson Wentz is right now being talked about with a couple other teams regarding trades and stuff. We don't know what's going to happen here. We don't know what's been said. All we know is that teams are calling and the Eagles are listening. So clearly something might happen. Whether it does or doesn't, I'm here to cover it and I'm here to react to it like always. I'll see you all in the next video. We'll see what happens. Fly, Eagles, fly. And all that stuff. Go Sixers and Flyers, by the way. They're looking pretty good. And see you all in the next one.